things cats are scared of the most. And honestly, understanding what terrifies your cat is crucial because many of these fears are things we accidentally expose our cats to every single day without realizing how scary they are. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what frightens cats most and why, plus how to help your cat feel safer around these common triggers. If you want to create a less stressful environment for your cat and learn more about their needs, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're always sharing insights that will help you understand your feline friend better. Let's talk about what really scares cats. The thing that scares cats more than almost anything else is sudden, loud noises. Cats have incredibly sensitive hearing. They can hear frequencies up to 64,000 Hz compared to our measly 20,000 Hz. This means sounds that are just loud to us are absolutely overwhelming and terrifying to cats. Thunder, fireworks, vacuum cleaners, blenders, door slams, car backfires, dropping pans, all of these sudden loud sounds trigger intense fear responses in cats. What makes this particularly frightening for cats is that these sounds are unpredictable and uncontrollable. Your cat can't escape the sound, can't fight it, and doesn't understand what's causing it or when it might happen again. This creates a sense of helplessness that's extremely stressful. The sound itself is painful to their sensitive ears, and the startle response floods their body with stress hormones. During thunderstorms or fireworks, many cats will hide in the darkest, most enclosed spaces they can find, under beds, in closets, behind furniture. They're trying to muffle the sound and feel protected on all sides. If your cat is terrified of loud noises, creating safe hiding spots with sound-dampening materials like blankets can help, and playing white noise or calming music can mask some of the scary sounds. What you should never do is try to force your cat out of hiding during these scary events or laugh at their fear. Your cat is genuinely terrified, and they need you to respect that and provide comfort through creating safe spaces, not through forced interaction. Cats are absolutely terrified of unfamiliar people, especially when those people invade their space. From your cat's perspective, strangers are potential threats until proven otherwise. When guests come to your home and immediately try to pet your cat, corner them to say hello, or make loud, excited noises, they're doing literally everything that would terrify a cat. Cats need time to assess new people from a safe distance before deciding if they want to engage. When strangers approach directly, make sudden movements, reach out to grab or pet without invitation, or tower over cats while making eye contact. They're triggering all of your cat's fear responses. Your cat sees a large, unpredictable creature invading their territory and displaying what appears to be predatory or aggressive behavior. What makes this worse is when cat owners encourage this interaction by picking up their hiding cat and bringing them out to meet guests, or by telling guests, "Oh, just pet them, they'll warm up." You're forcing your cat into a terrifying situation and teaching them they can't trust you to protect them when they're scared. The loving thing to do is educate your guests to ignore your cat completely. When people sit quietly, don't make eye contact, don't reach for the cat, and just exist calmly in the space, most cats will eventually approach on their own terms out of curiosity. This approach respects your cat's need to feel in control of social interactions and prevents traumatic forced encounters. Being restrained or trapped is one of cats' deepest fears. When you hold your cat tightly, pin them down to give medication, trap them in a corner, or prevent them from escaping a situation, you're triggering their prey animal instincts. In nature, being unable to move or escape means you're about to be eaten. Your cat experiences restraint as life-threatening danger even when you're just trying to trim their nails or give them medicine. This is why so many cats panic when being held against their will. They're not being dramatic. They're genuinely experiencing a survival fear response. Their heart rate increases, stress hormones flood their system, and their brain goes into fight or flight mode. When flight is impossible because you're holding them, many cats will resort to fighting, scratching, biting, or struggling violently to escape. What's particularly damaging is when this restraint happens during vet visits, grooming, or medication time. Your cat starts associating these necessary care activities with the terror of being trapped, which makes future instances even more traumatic. They learn to fear the carrier, the bathroom where pills are given, or your approach when you're about to do something they won't like. The solution is learning gentle handling techniques, using positive reinforcement training to teach your cat to accept necessary procedures, and never restraining more than absolutely essential. When your cat feels they always have the option to leave, They're often more willing to tolerate brief, necessary handling because they're not experiencing that trapped feeling. Cats are terrified of car rides and travel because everything about it violates their sense of safety. Being put in a carrier, taken out of their familiar territory, subjected to scary sounds and movements, surrounded by strange smells, car rides are basically a compilation of everything cats find frightening. Even short trips to the vet can be traumatic experiences that cats remember and fear for years. The motion of the car itself is disorienting and frightening because cats can't see where they're going or understand what's happening. They hear loud traffic sounds, feel sudden stops and turns, experience unfamiliar smells from outside, and have no control over any of it. From your cat's perspective, they've been kidnapped from their safe territory and are being transported to unknown danger. This fear often starts with the carrier itself. Many cats learn to associate carriers with scary experiences, so the moment they see the carrier come out, they panic and hide. Then the struggle to get them into the carrier adds more trauma, and by the time you're actually driving, your cat is already in full stress mode. Making car rides less terrifying requires desensitization over time. Leave the carrier out as a normal part of the environment with treats and comfort items inside. Take short practice trips that don't end at the vet. Cover the carrier with a blanket to reduce visual stimulation. Use calming pheromones. The goal is gradually teaching your cat that carriers and car rides don't always mean something terrible is about to happen. Water is genuinely frightening to most cats, and there are real biological reasons for this. Unlike dogs who often love water, most cats are terrified of being wet. Their fur doesn't repel water well. When cat fur gets soaked, it becomes heavy, cold, and takes forever to dry. This makes cats feel vulnerable and uncomfortable, which triggers fear responses. Being sprayed with water, forced into baths, or accidentally falling into water are traumatic experiences for cats. They panic not just because it's unpleasant, but because being wet reduces their agility and ability to escape from danger. A soaked cat is a slower, less capable cat, which from an evolutionary standpoint means they're more vulnerable to predators. The sound of running water also frightens many cats, especially if they've had negative experiences with water. The bathtub filling, the shower running, even heavy rain on windows can create anxiety in water-fearful cats. They associate these sounds with the potential of getting wet, which they desperately want to avoid. This is why using spray bottles as punishment is particularly cruel. You're using your cat's genuine fear against them, which damages trust and doesn't actually teach anything productive. If your cat needs a bath for medical reasons, using professional help or learning gentle, gradual bathing techniques with minimal water is much more humane than forcing a terrified cat into a full bath. Comment down below if your cat has a specific fear that surprises you. Every cat is different, and some develop unique phobias based on their experiences. Cats are terrified of having their safe spaces violated or removed. When you suddenly rearrange all the furniture, get rid of your cat's favorite hiding spots, or move their essential resources like food bowls or litter boxes to completely new locations, you're creating genuine fear and anxiety. Cats rely heavily on familiar territory to feel safe, and major disruptions to their environment trigger survival stress. Imagine if you came home one day and your entire house had been rearranged while you were gone. Doors in different places, furniture moved, your bedroom relocated. You'd feel disoriented and anxious. That's what cats experience when their environment changes dramatically without warning or transition. They lose their mental map of safe spaces, escape routes, and resource locations. What makes this particularly frightening is when safe hiding spots are removed entirely. If your cat's favorite under-the-bed hiding spot gets blocked because you got a new bed frame, or their closet sanctuary is cleared out during cleaning, they've lost a crucial safety zone. Cats who don't have adequate hiding spots available become chronically stressed because they have nowhere to retreat when they feel threatened. If you need to make environmental changes, do them gradually. Move furniture a little at a time, introduce new items slowly, and always ensure your cat has multiple safe hiding spaces available. When cats feel they have reliable safe zones no matter what changes around them, they handle transitions much better. Predatory behavior from humans or other pets is absolutely terrifying to cats. This includes being chased, pounced on, grabbed suddenly, stared at intensely, or cornered. Even when it's meant playfully, these behaviors trigger your cat's prey instincts because this is exactly how predators behave before attacking. Many people don't realize that when they chase their cat playfully, sneak up and grab them, or stare directly into their eyes, they're mimicking predator behavior that cats are hardwired to fear. Children are often especially guilty of this, running after cats, picking them up suddenly, or cornering them for forced cuddles. To the cat, this isn't play or affection. It's a terrifying predator encounter. Dogs who chase cats, even playfully, are triggering intense fear responses. The cat experiences this as being hunted, and the terror is real even if the dog means no harm. Households with dogs who aren't trained to respect cat boundaries often have chronically stressed cats who live in constant fear of being chased or cornered. Teaching everyone in the household, human and animal, to never chase cats, always allow escape routes, avoid direct staring, and respect when cats move away is essential for creating a fear-free environment. When cats know they're safe from predatory behaviors in their own home, they're so much more relaxed and confident. Cats are terrified of veterinary visits for a combination of all their major fears. Vet visits involve restraint, unfamiliar people, strange smells, other animals being poked and prodded, loud sounds, car rides. It's basically everything frightening happening all at once. This is why so many cats become absolutely frantic at the vet, and why some cats hold grudges for days after vet visits. The fear starts before you even leave home when the carrier appears. It intensifies during the car ride, peaks in the waiting room with strange animals and smells everywhere, and reaches maximum terror during the actual examination. Even gentle vets who are great with cats can't completely eliminate the fear because the entire situation is inherently frightening from a cat's perspective. What makes this worse is when vet visits only happen when something is wrong. If the only time your cat gets in the carrier and goes on a car ride is when they're sick or need shots, they learn that these experiences always lead to feeling bad or experiencing pain. This creates a strong negative association that makes each subsequent visit even more terrifying. Making vet visits less traumatic requires effort. Practice carrier training at home, consider vets who make house calls if possible, ask about fear-free handling techniques, and if your vet allows, bring your cat in occasionally just to get weighed and receive treats without any procedures. You're helping your cat learn that vet visits don't always equal bad experiences. Make sure you're subscribed because we regularly share tips for reducing stress and fear in cats. Cats are genuinely frightened by their own reflection sometimes. This might seem silly, but many cats experience fear or aggression toward mirrors because they don't recognize their reflection as themselves. They see what appears to be another cat in their territory who's mimicking their movements, and this is confusing and potentially threatening. Young cats and cats who haven't been around mirrors much are especially prone to this fear. They might hiss at their reflection, puff up to appear larger, or try to attack the intruder they see. When the reflection cat responds with identical aggressive displays, it escalates their fear and confusion. They're experiencing what seems like a territorial challenge from a mysterious cat who won't leave or back down. Some cats eventually habituate to mirrors and learn to ignore them, but others remain uncomfortable with reflections throughout their lives. Having mirrors at cat height in areas your cat frequents can create ongoing stress if your cat is one who never adjusts to seeing their reflection. If your cat shows fear or aggression toward mirrors, the kindest solution is to cover or remove mirrors at cat level, or reposition them so your cat doesn't encounter their reflection regularly. There's no benefit to forcing your cat to get over it. You're just maintaining an ongoing source of stress and confusion in their environment. Sudden changes in household dynamics terrify cats because it disrupts their sense of stability. When someone moves out, a new person or pet moves in, a baby arrives, someone goes away to college, or any other major change in who's in the home happens, cats experience this as their world being turned upside down. They relied on a certain social structure and routine, and suddenly everything is different. New people or pets in the home are particularly frightening because they represent territorial invasion and uncertainty. Your cat doesn't understand that the new roommate or baby or puppy is permanent and safe. They just know their territory has been invaded by an unknown entity. This triggers fear-based defensive behaviors as they try to protect themselves and their resources. When familiar people leave the household, cats also experience fear and confusion along with their grief. The person who always fed them or played with them is suddenly gone, and cats don't understand why or if other trusted people might also disappear. This creates anxiety about the stability of their remaining relationships and routines. Helping cats through these transitions requires maintaining as much routine as possible, providing extra resources so cats don't have to compete, creating separate spaces where your cat can retreat from new household members, and giving lots of reassurance through consistent positive interactions. Gradual introductions, when possible, are much less frightening than sudden changes. Cats are terrified of feeling out of control during medical procedures or grooming. Having their paws touched, nails trimmed, being brushed too roughly, having mats cut out of fur, having ears cleaned, or getting eye drops. These necessary procedures can be genuinely frightening when cats don't understand what's happening and feel they can't escape. The combination of restraint, strange sensations, and sometimes discomfort creates fear responses that can escalate over time. A cat who had one traumatic nail trimming session may panic at the sight of nail clippers for years afterward. They've learned that this object precedes an experience where they felt trapped and uncomfortable. What's particularly sad is when owners power through these procedures despite obvious fear signals, because it needs to be done. While some things do need to happen, doing them in ways that minimize fear through desensitization, positive associations, and gentle handling makes a huge difference. A cat who's gradually trained to accept nail trims with treats and patience experiences far less fear than a cat who's forcibly restrained and quickly clipped. Taking the time to train your cat to accept necessary grooming and medical care, breaking procedures into tiny steps with lots of rewards, and knowing when to pause if your cat is becoming too stressed shows respect for their fear and builds trust over time. The fear that underlies many cat anxieties is the fear of unpredictability and loss of control. Cats are hardwired to need predictability in their environment and control over their choices. When things happen that they can't predict or control, sudden loud noises, forced interactions, environmental changes, restraint, the fundamental fear is loss of agency and safety. Understanding this helps explain why cats are frightened by so many things that don't seem scary to us. We understand that the vacuum won't hurt them, that the vet is helping them, that the new furniture arrangement is fine. But cats don't have that context. All they know is that something unpredictable is happening and they can't control it, which triggers their survival instincts. Creating an environment where cats have as much predictability and control as possible dramatically reduces their overall fear and stress levels. Consistent routines, reliable safe spaces, control over social interactions, and gradual rather than sudden changes all help cats feel safer because they can predict and influence their environment. The most loving thing you can do for a fearful cat is respect their fear and work to reduce triggers rather than forcing exposure. Some people believe in exposure therapy, where they force cats to face their fears, but this often backfires with cats. Unlike dogs who can sometimes overcome fears through controlled exposure, cats often become more sensitized to feared stimuli when forced to endure them. If your cat is terrified of something, your first priority should be reducing their exposure to that trigger when possible, then very gradually desensitizing them through positive associations if necessary. Forcing a terrified cat to endure their fear to get over it usually just traumatizes them further and damages their trust in you. This might mean covering mirrors if your cat fears reflections, managing visitors carefully if your cat fears strangers, creating sound barriers during storms if your cat fears loud noises, or working with a veterinary behaviorist if your cat has severe anxiety. You're acknowledging that your cat's fear is real and valid, and you're committed to helping them feel safer rather than dismissing their distress. Remember that fear is an emotional experience that deserves compassion and respect. Your cat isn't being difficult or dramatic when they're frightened. They're experiencing genuine terror based on their evolutionary programming and individual experiences. When you understand what frightens cats and why, you can create an environment that minimizes these triggers and helps your cat feel secure. A cat who feels safe and secure in their environment is a happier, healthier, more confident cat who can fully enjoy their life with you. By respecting their fears and working to reduce unnecessary stress, you're showing deep love and creating the foundation for a strong, trusting relationship. If this helped you understand your cat's fears better, make sure you're subscribed for more insights like this and check out this next video where we talk about how to help anxious cats feel more secure and confident.